Well, hello again, folks. You've landed on the BRO channel. I'm your host, Wade Rush, and at the time of this filming, turkey season opens here in the Midlands of South Carolina tomorrow. It is March 19 today. Tomorrow turkey season opens up, but we got some bad weather moving in. I'm talking some dangerous weather, thunderstorms and stuff like that. It's going to be coming through this area, so we don't know how that's going to pan out. It may be this weekend before we can hook up with Country Boy and with Derek and maybe get Hammer and Rachel and all that to run some cameras and do some calling and all that, see if we can go through this weekend and maybe bust an old Tom. But anyway, the subject of this video is I've had a lot of subscribers, a lot of folks asked me to demonstrate the action cameras that we've been using. We went through and used a bunch of different kinds, especially this last deer season, and now moving into turkey season. I'm going to take several action cameras that we've used, got the footage of, show you guys what it looks like, what it sounds like, as compared to the Gopro Hero 3 Plus Silver. This is a $250, $300 camera, still pushing $300 camera if you get it with any kind of accessories and stuff like that. And a lot of people, just like me, I couldn't afford to get that camera. If it hadn't been for Hammer buying that for me for Christmas a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have one either. So we have used a lot of these cameras. We know how they work, show you what we like, what we didn't like, what we think will work, what won't work, in a bunch of different scenarios. Guys, stand by for the video. And like I was telling you folks, we're going to take a look as compares to the GoPro Hero 3. We're going to take a look at the J9000. We tried it for a very short period of time. They have a problem with their audio whenever the battery starts getting low. We'll talk about that in more depth as the video moves on. The Apeman cameras. I think we've got, Captain Buster has a couple of A60s. I have an A70 and what some call an A80, but it's the 4K. It's the one of the higher end of the Apeman cameras. Still a lot less expensive than the GoPro. And I've used them as dash cameras, as what I call backdoor cameras, the stuff that sits back because they catch 170 degrees of video area. That's a lot, guys. I mean, especially compared to other cameras. And we've used them in a lot of different scenarios: gun cameras, dash cameras, backdoor cameras to catch stuff or anything that could happen in a hunt. And we're going to talk about all of them right here. Okay folks, you can see here how I modified the gun mount. This is a liner off an old air mattress. I cut a hunk out of a busted air mattress and I lined my gun cam clamp so that would keep this from sliding around. See, I double wire tied my backup battery on here, the ThruNite C2. We got them double lanyard in right here, and this is the most important thing for the Apeman cameras. This is the Apeman open-faced case. I call this the fair weather case. Way better audio. You don't have a lens covering your lens. Better video on your pretty days or days that it's not raining. But see, the gun camera clamp has two mounts. This is a double camera mount. Basically, you could have a camera facing the shooter and facing the field. But what I like about it is I took this piece of hardware cloth right here on the Apeman case, because you can see from the Blackville footage that my gun camera was just coming apart whenever I shot at the doe first, and it managed to stay on the gun, but by the time I shot and killed the 8-point, it was coming apart at the seams. So this is what I did. This is the open face camera case bracket that holds the Apeman camera. I cut me a piece of hardware cloth to use as a springy, stiff backbone, and because of the double mounts on this gun, on this gun cam mount, I was able to attach that hardware cloth. I hope you guys can see this right here. I was able to attach that hardware cloth with just a little 1/4 inch. These are 1/4 inch SAE size bolt, American standard SAE 1/4 inch. That's what these are. These little 1/4 inch adapter, GoPro mount adapters, extremely cheap. You can get a bag full of them off of eBay or Amazon for a few bucks. I will have links down in the description for all this stuff, guys. But yeah, you'll need this to adapt your 8-man cameras and stuff to, on your, if you're going to make a gun mount out of the gun mounts that we use, which will also all be listed. Links down here in the description for all of this stuff that we use here, guys. You'll need your bag full of these things. They come in real handy. And I fastened it to the base for the secondary camera base and run it like a spine up and bend it over, because there's a, of course, there's a spot for a 1/4 inch bolt on the top of this little camera bracket right here, and I built this spine for the gun camera. And you saw on the 20 gauge whenever I was shooting it back during squirrel season that this stopped the camera from bouncing all over the place. I have test shot it with those heavy 3-inch Magnum loads on my Stoker, and it is holding up, because in comparison, this is what you have with the GoPro. I could not figure a way, an efficient way, because the GoPro opens from the back right here to make something to fasten the GoPro. I'm going to show you what the GoPro, in my opinion, the best way to use your GoPro hunting is this way. In Wade Rush's humble opinion, and going on 3 years experience with the GoPro camera, that's the way to wear your GoPro hunting. If you're a right-handed shooter, you need to remember to try to cant your GoPro about 15 degrees to the left for a right-handed shooter. That way the camera is looking right down the barrel. Left-handed shooter, you cant it about 15 degrees to the right, so that whenever you shoot, it looks right down the barrel. But in my opinion, this is the best way to wear the GoPro. Here's some footage that I got back a couple of years ago at New Hope Church. Shot a great big old nanny wearing the GoPro. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the SJ9000 action camera. Pretty inexpensive little action camera. You can go to Amazon.com and enter SJ9000. This is what you're going to see. But listen to this. This is some raw video and audio that Hammer and Samantha got back during September when she killed her first deer. And with the low battery life, the anomaly got way, way worse with the SJ9000. Imagine if this camera was your only source of video and audio for your hunt. What a nightmare, especially if you're a dog hunter. Okay, now let's take a look at the 8-man cameras. If you go to Amazon and enter A60 or 8-man A60, this is what you're going to see. Here is some unedited video and audio of Captain Buster's A60 8-man gun camera.
Dead rabbit! Dead rabbit!
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the 8-man A70, a step up from the A60, a little bit more features and built-in D-shaker stabilization. Works pretty good. I'm going to show you a video that I put the A70 and the Gopro Hero 3 Plus Silver side by side and run them in a comparison and let you guys see what they look like. Stand by. In this segment, both cameras are literally side by side on my little 20 gauge Stoeger M3020. We shoot a couple of squirrels' nests, and you will also see that on the shot the GoPro jumps and it shifts every time. It shifts its position because the bolts are as tight as we can get them, but they just won't hold. But I made some modifications on the Apeman gun camera that I have already shown you guys. Audio is stacked, which means both gun cameras' audio is together in this video. Let's roll a clip of the Apeman A70 alone, raw video and audio. Here is the GoPro Hero 3 Plus Silver. Raw video, raw audio. All right, it's time to take a look at the Apeman A80, or probably better known as the 4K camera. This is one of the higher end Apeman cameras. What I like so much about this camera is that it has built-in gyro stabilization. I'm going to show you a clip here as a dash cam that we run on the truck, and you can see what I'm talking about. Now this is impressive, folks. Watch this. This is raw audio and raw video from the Apeman 4K. Watch this gyro stabilization at work as I turn this truck around. Initialized.
All the rags are not in here.
Somebody may have got them whenever Thomas was here working on the last thing, whenever the last project was. Okay, folks, now I'm going to show you a little footage of the Apeman A70 as a dash camera. And as you can see right here, whenever I pulled this off of Amazon just a day or two ago, at the time of this video, the price is $59.99 for the A70 with free shipping.
So I got it on. Alright, this goes here. Several of them laying down. Got a few little ones out there. Look, you get that. Tractor Supply?
Yeah.
Trucks, when trucks do like that, that causes such a pile up. What are you looking for?
Record rack. I've normally been pulling it out a couple of weeks, but. And here they are side by side as a dash camera, GoPro Hero 3 Plus, Apeman A70, and the Apeman A80. And folks, here's the A80 running as a gun camera, as I called it in Blackville. Beautiful picture and very good audio.
That's a good book.
Y'all ain't videoing today?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Come here, Paco. Get your
No, unless there had to be another doe. That doe I shot was hit, and that's why. Okay, but unless unless it was a couple.
I just shot that coming back this.
Oh, okay. That was the first deer I shot at was the doe, and then he come out 5 minutes later.
And here is the A70, as I like to call a backdoor camera, to just pick up anything that can happen in a hunt. And with a 170-degree wide-angle lens, it will catch a lot of stuff. And if you don't like the fisheye effect where things are curved on the edges, my video editing software will take that stuff out. Well, folks, we're going to wrap this thing up. This has not been a review of these cameras. I will do a more in-depth review on these cameras, figuring that some of my buddies out there are going to probably pick up these cameras to hunt with. And so I'm going to do a more in-depth review on the camera, showing how you set up the date, time, the stabilization, and all that stuff, how we set that up. I'll go over that in a different video in the very near future. Most your 8-man cameras come in a case like this right here. They come with all kind of accessories, a couple of extra batteries, and all that stuff. And battery life, hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes is what we've been getting with the batteries. And the batteries are extremely inexpensive, and they're all interchangeable. So all like your A60, A70, 4K, all those batteries will swap back and forth from any of those cameras that you may pick up. One of the biggest selling points for me on these cameras is the ability to hook up an outside power charging source. This is the ThruNite C2 power stick. It just takes a standard 18650 hobby battery, rechargeable, holds a bunch of power, and I can take this thing here, micro USB cable, just like you charge up your cell phone with, and I can plug it into this camera as an outside power source. Trying to do everything backwards here. Turn on your outside power source. Powers your camera. It'll keep this battery charged. That will run this camera all day long. I wouldn't have to swap the batteries out. I can just use an outside battery source to keep this charged up. I could use this battery until it's about dead and then plug up an outside my extra battery power source right here and keep going without having to worry about swapping out a battery. That's pretty cool right there. The GoPro Hero 3 has been discontinued. Here it is used on Amazon for $179. Here is a new GoPro Hero 3 edition on Amazon for $249.95, but there is free shipping. Now, here is a brand new GoPro Hero 6 Black starting at $399, and then if you look across the center right there, there's several different kits. You can run that thing up to close to $500 or over. But I will say, if there's anyone out there that would like for me to review that new GoPro Hero 6, you can always send it to me. Contact me through any of the social media outlets. Thank you very much. There you have it. Hope it helped out, folks. We hope to be filming some turkey hunts here very, very soon, and there's going to be lots more reviews. Everybody's wanting us to talk about all the stuff that we use in the field to make these videos, make the kills, everything else that we do with this. We're going to talk about the shotguns, we're going to talk about our rifles, we're going to talk about the ammunition, we're going to talk about all that stuff, because we're getting all these questions. Folks are really interested, so we're going to lay it out for you guys. What works for us, what don't, and a big factor right here, nobody gives us anything or pays us to say anything. This is all of our own experience. I went to Amazon and bought this stuff just like you guys would have to. Alright, this is Wade Rush with the BRO channel, and we'll be back with lots more very, very soon, guys. Bye-bye.